Like, okay, here's another song in a spin. The copier industrialist boogie. Oh, really? It's a thing we all got together in this big dance hall, and we got really big photocopy machines. Oh, wish we could. Oh, well, we had to get together. We had to get inspired first. Okay, now the song we played. The song's called Wonderland. It's called Moving Around. Oh yes, we love to move around. We have the husbands and wives, and we can have sex on photocopy machine, or even have sex with them. Yeah. You know, like pretend it's a woman or a man and sort of sex up the copier. Oh yes, I've seen a copier industrialist do that at one of the jobs I used to work for. Seriously, it doesn't sound terribly good, but that's just the way we are. There's not much research done on fetish and paraphilia type behaviours. I mean, we all know that normal people always hear about the stilettos, or the foot fetish, fetish with red high heel shoes, or things like that. You don't hear much about our fetishes, but our fetishes are more, well, I think for copier industrialists, wanting to have sex on a copier, or wanting to sex up a copier, is a form of, well, at least having sex on a copier. Well, it's got to be especially modified, because platens are only rated for 2 kilograms typically, and also these machines are not built strong enough to support human weight. I don't think chassis will probably bend or break. Not a good idea. But basically, it's a part of a selection process. So if you're going to build, this Silicon Valley type installation has to be built on people who love the product, because if you got the wrong, and another thing to note is that it's like in any relationship, like, neurotypicals should really go out with their own kind, and we should go out with our own kind. I don't know why, but I think it's because when you're talking, it's like in nature, it's like a selection process. Like, scientists like to date scientists. People just love people that are alike. But the problem is with a lot of people with Asperger syndrome. It'd be good to be able to put something on their lapel instead of calling them Aspergers or people with Asperger syndrome. It'd be best just to substitute a label of their choice. So if they love dinosaurs, they could be paleontologist or something like that. For us, it's toner-head, copier, industrialist, but it feels rotten. You can't. It's horrible. You're calling yourself a technician when you don't have a job as a technician. It's a horrible feeling, and you don't want to just have a taste of it. You want to have like a lifestyle. So basically, neurotypicals often are happy just to have a taste of something they like. Except that they can't afford it. It's really, I don't get it. Sorry, I've just been eating corn chips. Anyway, so basically, it's a selection process. It's like, to get the best performance, you've got to have basically people who are matched. Like, if you're a neurotypical and you have fallen in love with a copier industrialist, you can't expect yourself to really enjoy yourself, and the copier industrialist, so there's going to be like opposing forces. And I must say, there's just a saying that comes to mind. I hear the words opposites attract. Sorry, it doesn't rock with my system, and it probably wouldn't rock with the others. Because when you got opposites, that's why we have this argy-bargy amongst ourselves. That's why neurotypicals and Aspies don't get along, is because we're different, too different. So normal people typically hate copiers. We love copiers, or at least when we haven't been brainwashed out of it. So it's like friction. It's like, it's like fiber electricity. It's all like every time you get together with a neurotypical, it's like we produce these huge sparks, like lightning. Like the clouds and too much rubbing together, and that's when we have fights. And it's usually, well, it depends. We're a funny bunch. Like, some of us, we're like, basically our world is lived by the fight and flight instinct. We either fight, and yes, we often end up causing problems, or we're very timid and we'd rather just bolt, and then we get called cowards or wusses. So we don't live a life that's really what we call healthy socially, and of course the workplace has now been taken away. So in the old days, you could have a retreat by going to your workplace and doing code and that, and you hang out with people that that you like, and now it's been taken away. And then, of course, we've learnt not to have relationships. That's the majority of us. And of course, naturally, when you don't have money and friends to fall back on who've got money, you don't even get to own a home, and you've got to live in the most rotty. So that's the thing. We've got to get together, and we want to make our own community, because we can't live as singularities around the world. Everyone's got to have a community, right? Our community, it's like anyone, normal people wouldn't want to be forced into joining our community and being forced to become copy industrialists. That'd be wrong. Just as much as we shouldn't have to give in to that either. So if we say that they don't have to be asked, well, why are they asking us to be them? It's just unfair. It just seems to happen all the time. They think we are wrong and they're always right. But the only solution is segregation. The only solution is build your own community and build your own jobs. Make your own life. Hang out with a crowd that you love, and then, of course, you go to a meet-up and you play the music loud, and you have all your photocopy machines there, and you're sort of pitting each other against time trials and all that, and being creative, and that becomes like a form of dance hall for us. We can meet men and women over photocopies, and it's so sexy. You get dressed up like, go into a dance, and you can bend over a copier and squash your body against it. I mean, of course, I'm not saying I'm not going as far as saying nudity. I'm just saying, you can dress up in something quite sexy, like a 50s outfit, look really cool, 70s, whatever, or 90s is really sexy, the fluoro colours and all that. So that's the 90s we're mainly interested in. But we don't want to get too rules-based, because many of us still like the 80s music and all that. We just want to be flexible, really. But the 90s was when the 70s was back in the 70s. We really always loved the 70s, so it's a real bummer when things just fell apart. Anyway, enough chat from me. It's time to play some music. Woo! So this song's called Moving Around. Let's keep on moving around, baby. So if you've got a husband and a wife and you're having sex on a copier, you got to keep you moving around, you got to keep you moving around, you got to keep jacking away. Ow! Well, that's probably not what a real person exactly sounds like, but you get the idea. Whew. Anyway, gotta get play the music. Actually, that sounded like Michael Jackson. He's cool. Here you go. Happy go, like sexy. Yeah. Here he is, bent over a benter. Woo! Calling it an altar. Alright, here's the absent-minded bench hub professor. And get the torch out again, they use it for. Hey, Luigi Benedict! Sleepy's up on the door! Do you stick on the copier in the door? You want to check me hard, Luigi? Well, I hope another copier industrialist will be doing it too. With your own little bedrooms, and your own silicon belly. There's room for the equipment and check it hard! So that's how it should be. That orgasmic part, that didn't sound like a terrible orgasm impersonation, but Luigi, I know how to pop a good one, Luigi. And I don't know you with urine and you with a copier. That's what I'm going to write for the whole copy. You're going to scream their heads off. You're going to be grunting like, I like that sex boy. You're just a virgin. You want to try it. It doesn't matter if you don't virgin us to fuck you. No one's ever given me an orgasm before. Is that you, Luigi? Hey, let's go! Sex on a copier, Luigi Benedict! I don't play fair for a while, but I want to have sex on a copier! The time ahead is going to be the beer fight. Disapproval? our tails got blasted over the top. Cause we're gonna get wet, we're gonna get wet, we're gonna make the mess all over the copy and plate glass, dirty, sticky, sticky as the breeze. Oh, here goes wet hot, here goes the sweaty on the copy machine. And what did you do? We're getting this. Luigi! Be careful, you're going to make the mess on the plate, right? Be careful, we're going to want these things properly. So don't forget, there's going to be about 300 kilos on top of the thing. Gotta have sex on the coffee machine when we get married. And all the time he's the one how to have sex with partners too. We're gonna have sex on the coffee, sex on the coffee, bang, bang, bang. Yes, everybody, I'm not in the mood to say, these avatars are a little bit anxious, because Luigi and I, we want to have sex on the copier! Woo! And we're going to spill our seed all over it. We've been waiting all our lives to do that, right? So, can I do it around? We're going to spill our seed on the carpet. And I'm 40 years of age. He's about 40 himself. They say Rusty Jim's at 40. So we are not robots really. We've only been made into robots by society. We need work. We need love. That's what we need to be happy. Yeah, Luigi. You're gonna spill your seed on the copier with me? You're gonna make a mess? Because the messier the better. We're just gonna make sure we mold the suckers. You know? And, you know, we can make videos, but we don't show them on YouTube. And also, you know, oh, don't worry, world, I'm not changing, I'm not changing. That's just what we are. It's cute, sexy. Hey! You do it doggy style! Bend me over the big top, Luigi! You know you went to electronics? No question, you own electronics! I wish I could walk into electronics, but I know you won't let me. Because you're worried we're going to get too hot, aren't we? Oh well. So the copy community are going to use this as an example. Not to be afraid of disapproval. So, this is just flooring me, mate. This is so funny. This is like totally nuts, you know? But that's the thing, you know, like, you see, that's how the Asties function better. Well, if we don't have our passion and we can't enjoy it in the bedroom, well, chances are, that's when we go offline and we can't function without it, without having our passion and not being able to do it. And we can't, you know, feeling guilty about it, it just stuffs our brains up. And, you know, I mean, as long as you're doing it in the bedroom and, you know, behind closed doors and, you know, because it's a way, like, I mean, if it's acceptable to use, you know, other things as, you know, if people have fetishes with shoes and feet and other things that, well, what's wrong with a copy machine? I mean, a copy machine is a great imaging tool because some of the most beautiful images you can get using a copier. I mean, I've seen images, like, you know, squashed breasts, squashed body parts. It's so sensual. It's so beautiful. You know, it's, you know, you can't get it. You know, it's not the same. You know, nothing like it. And Luigi Benedict, oh man, he's been wanting to do that with me for decades. Unfortunately, we got star-crossed, but we found each other again. And that's the most important thing. It's got to be a good love story. But that's the thing, you know, most people don't think like that. Most people think we're deranged, but most of us have forgotten what sex is. So, yeah, most of us have forgotten what feelings are because we've been so worried about everything. You know, we try and preserve our lives. We're worried about death, and death is something that's plagued most of us because we think of the existential very deeply, and unfortunately the church has basically, inadvertently hacked our brains, and it's almost as if we've just got a bunch of Trojans, worms and viruses inside. A computer system can't survive like that. And we're really sensitive, and it was the church that did the damage. Now the thing is, they still bash us with the Bible, but there's nothing sinful about loving technology. I mean, it becomes a conduit of worship if you're a Christian who's into that stuff. And then again, I don't want to enforce the Bible on anyone, because I don't want to hurt people like that, because the church does it that way, and the church has been too aggressive about it. So the thing is, we're not demonic. I mean, if we have demons, we blame circumstance, because demons, if there are such things as demons, I don't want to be too down the line about it, but because I've been watching movies about demon possessions, right? And the common thread there is that the victims have been abused by their father, or they've been sexually assaulted. They've been victims of hate, victims of rejection, and of course, anger, rage, and it's all to do with those things, and that's basically the way an Asperger's life has become in the 20th and the latter part of the 20th century, and there's so many miserable people that have not got any hope. They can't reach out and break the bond of this, whether it's a demon or pure psychiatric problems or post-traumatic stress disorder. It's actually totally screwed them up. And how can you want to help somebody else, or have empathy for someone when death is an obsession? You're all alone and you're worried about everything, from the plumber stuffing up your plumbing. You don't like leaky toilets. You want things to be working well, and who likes that stuff? And I'm trying to basically raise awareness to bring back the happy times, to actually say that these guys can actually have sex. They can work well. In fact, I think there's a correlation between lack of sexual satisfaction and crime, because some men have high testosterone levels, and if they can't get a woman, they might end up raping a woman, or they lose their sex drive, because being bullied actually lowers your libido. It actually makes you feel small and embarrassed, because it causes a rage, it causes hate, and we can't operate on that. And when we've had it all our lives, we can't basically function, but then normal people can't function on that either. And, thing is, we don't want to condemn you guys, but thing is, we've got to basically find a way out. And my man has inspired me to create this drive of creating a Silicon Valley where we can just make our dreams come true and deal with these internal issues from the past. We were meant to build a self-guided photocopier 20 years ago, and we go, but now we can do it, but we have to basically have help to get this message out to the people who don't even have social media hookups, and they're depressed and they're isolated, and it's not nice, and they've given up hope, and many of them are preparing to die alone, and with no hope for the that's a question. I won't go into it now. Got to go. Anyway, got to keep moving around, baby. All right, Luigi. I've got to get those people happening, hey? Goodbye.